All right, so we're here with Jeremy Clements at Coda. This is the 500th start in your Xfinity Series career. So let's go back to the very beginning, okay? And tell me kind of what was the inspiration for becoming a race car driver?
Well, it started off when I was a kid.
Okay.
You know, I was born into a racing family and just grew up around the shop where they were working on race cars all the time and engines and everything. And I was under cars, in them, beating on carburetors, so I had my hands on everything. And then I was tearing up the yard at my parents' house in a yard cart for a number of years. And then finally Santa brought us a real racing go-kart when I was 7. Actually, when I was 6 and I turned 7 in January. So my grandfather started taking my brother Jason and I to Buck Creek Speedway and racing, and just loved it. I mean, I knew I loved it already. I was wearing racing shirts to school every day, and just born to race. So that's all I've ever wanted to do and been able to do, obviously, to this point. So that's how it got started, and then, I mean, I just tried to keep it going.
Well, so you go to your first year was 2003. You ran your first race.
Yep.
So what were you thinking that first time you ran in NASCAR?
Yeah, I don't know if that was the right call. To be honest, we were racing ARCA, and a car came up for sale. We bought it. We went to Pikes Peak with it because they didn't have a full field. Very ill prepared, and crashed out early, and then that car was junked, so we weren't able to race this series for a while because of that, because we used up the funds for that. But we just stayed in ARCA. ARCA was a great series for us, honestly. We could run up front, we could win, but the payout wasn't great. So that's why we were looking at this series, because we felt like we could sustain the team racing in this series.
So yeah, it was 2007, you returned to the Xfinity Series. So during that time of not racing in NASCAR, after having that one taste of it, were you just constantly of the mindset, we got to get back there, that's where I want to be?
Yes and no. I mean, of course I wanted to be there, but it's like we're doing it on our own, and it's very hard to do it that way.
Sure.
So the last 5 races of the season, I drove for McGill Motorsports, number 36 car. Brett Sherman was the driver, and I guess they had a falling out. And basically that team was a sinking ship, and they were just kind of getting through, the last few races. So I drove for them. Then we ended up buying 2 of their cars, and in 08, 09, 2010 just started racing more and more races as we could get more funds to do it, with those cars. And then 2011 we decided to go full time. And we've been full-time since.
Yeah. So when you think about you're the underdog, you're that small guy, what has it been like from that perspective, competing against all these big teams since 2011? You're the underdog, but you have had a couple wins, which we'll get to in the highlights of your 500 starts. Just talk to me about what it has felt like being the underdog role.
It's tough. It's very hard. I mean, you're racing against a lot of great teams with Cup affiliated backing and a lot of money behind them. So it makes it extremely challenging. But each year we try to ramp up what we can do and try to make this better run up front. We do pretty well when we have our ducks in a row and not mess up. Sometimes we're our own worst enemy. I remember years ago, we'd be racing on scuffed tires and, just doing anything we could do to survive the weekend. So that's what I'm saying when I say we're our own worst enemy. And then running parts that, can it make it another race? I don't know. And then it broke. Stuff like that. So a lot of things like that in my career that I've had to battle with this running your own team and doing it yourself on limited funding.
So we'll talk about the highlights, but let's hit the lowlights first. In this journey, over these since 2003, what is some lowlights that you could think of, like maybe particular points where you felt like, I'm not going to do this anymore, or I might get out?
Well, I don't know if it ever came to I don't want to do this anymore. It's just things get hard with, like I said, with money and having to shortcut things and having to run on scuffed tires when you know that it's gonna suck and you're not gonna run good. Things like that. So I don't know if there's just a low light. It's just hard. Racing is a up and down sport. It's like a roller coaster. You got to take the good with the bad. You have a short memory, and you got to keep going. You tell you what though, you got to enjoy the good ones, because probably going to be more bad than good. You're going to crash a lot. That's what sucks. Crashing these cars. We got a small group of guys at the shop. It takes a lot to rebuild them. A lot of money, resources, and man hours.
Sure.
And we've been through a lot of, over the years, you go through a number of people. A lot of people come and go. Crew chiefs, employees. It's tough, and it feel like it's gotten even harder to get employees. I don't know. People don't work anymore. It's like, I don't know how they get money. So it is very hard to get people and keep them. So that can be a challenge. And then obviously getting the funding to do the racing part of it, it's tough. So it's,
Sure.
it just it kind of wears on you as the years go. But then I strap in, and that's when the fun starts. And then I'm like, okay, this is what we're doing all this for. So that part makes it worth it.
Well, you mentioned the crashes, so let's talk about, of the 500 starts, do you have a memorable crash?
There's been a bunch of them. I mean, because every driver's crashed a
Sure.
lot, because it's going to happen, I mean, let's see. Probably that 07, when I drove that car at Phoenix, we cut a right front tire in practice, and then I hit the wall, and I don't know if there was a safety barrier there yet. And then I hit the wall so hard it just came down and hit the inside wall coming out of 4, and it turned this car into a paper clip. And the inside wall definitely didn't have a safety barrier, and it hurt. That hurt. That rang my bell for sure. That one I remember vividly. I blew out a right front at Michigan one time, going in 3, wide open. That was one of those 2008 to 10 years where we showed up in Michigan. We weren't running full time. Blew right front practice, and that was it. We had to go home, and that's a low.
Sure.
You had a hard hit, car's destroyed. You're going home with nothing. That's tough. So moments like that are the ones that you're like, man, this might be too much for us.
All right, so now let's talk about the highlights. 2017 Road America, 2022 Daytona. So just talk to me. 2017, when you win at Road America, through your career, you have to be wondering, can we do this? Can we win? We've come close, but you finally do it. So when it happens, what is that like? I can't believe we finally done it. You're in victory lane.
It's ironic it happened at Road America, just because that was my first ever road course race in 2011. We had never ran road courses. I was never a road course guy. So coming into it to win there a few years later after running there for the first time, I remember I was like, man, this is a 4-mile track. I don't know where I'm going. This is a little intimidating to get out there, and I don't know what I'm doing, because I've never done it. And that's kind of what I remember thinking at first, the first time I hit the track practice. But then I loved it. It was so much fun. But I would say every year we just started learning and applying what we learned the previous year to those road course races. Because we showed up. I remember the steering, but I had to turn the wheel a lot. And I'm like, is there any way we can get something where I don't have to turn the wheel as much? Just the simplest little things
Sure.
that a bigger team would know. We just didn't. Better brakes, transmission. We're just throwing everything at it that we can over the years. We finally learned what we needed. And I remember thinking, Road America is really a place we can show up and run really well. And we did. And then that year we just showed up. We had speed right off the hauler. And everything worked out. And we were fast. We really were. So that was just cool as hell to beat those guys the way we did that day.
All right, then fast forward to 2022 at Daytona. I think it ended at close to midnight. It was one of those.
Oh, it was like 1:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the race didn't start about 10:30 roughly. I remember trying to take a nap before the race, and I was yawning, and I did XM radio with Larry B. Lang, and just like, oh my gosh, let's get this race going. I'm getting sleepy. And but Daytona, I've wrecked more than I finished there probably. I don't know the stats, but I would say that's right. But just a survival race, I was able to survive and put myself in position. We restarted up at the front, and once we were up there, we were good and took advantage of what we were given, and we were able to win. And that was just the best feeling ever to win at Daytona, because it is Daytona. So that's amazing, and you just want more. These speedway races just turn into survival. I mean, it doesn't matter if you lead the whole thing and you get crashed at the end. What does that matter? So you got to be there at the end somehow.
So did you ever, looking back on now on the 500 starts, did you, when you started, said, I think I'm going to win a race? I mean, obviously that's the goal, but realistically in your mind, did you think we can do this?
Oh, I mean, at first, no, definitely not. I mean, you were trying to run 25th. I mean, seriously, like 20th was a good day.
Sure.
And I mean, this competition level is stout, but I guess each year as we've gotten better, yes, then my confidence went up in my team. As a driver, I thought I can do it, or else why would I be here?
Sure.
I mean, and I tested and did some things with JGR back in the day, and I had speed with them, so I was like, these cars are just way faster than ours. So somehow we got to get our cars. Probably never get it to match them, but we got to get them as close as we can. So that's what I've been trying to work on my whole career.
So did you ever aspire to get to the Cup Series, or was, I mean,
Oh yeah.
So
definitely.
So
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I'm just curious, because I would think that's the aspiration, but what has prevented that from happening?
Money. That's pretty simple. Yeah, there's been talks here and there, but it's always been, how much can you bring? I need this amount. Can't do it. So that's the thing. Any funding I've had has been behind this 51 Chevy. Had chances to drive trucks, Cup. Either it wasn't a good ride at all, that you're going to run 35th, maybe 30th if there's some crashes, and I would just be miserable doing that, to be honest.
Sure.
But I know I'm not going to just just jump in the best of the best, and maybe I should have took some of those chances earlier. I don't know. It's hard to say. I know other guys did, and it worked out for them, and I just looked at it like I just didn't want to do it. But anytime I had to bring money, I just kept it where I'm at. And you look back, like I just said, you wonder if you did the right thing. I don't know.
So now you have a child. So how has that changed your perspective as a race car driver?
I don't know if it has. It's like when she comes to races, it's really cool, and I want her to be a part of it, and I want her to grow up and be like, oh, my dad's a race car. That's really cool. I want her to be proud of me. So I want to make her proud. I want to do good for her. I'd love to take her to victory lane. That would be the goal. Obviously, it doesn't really change anything the way I do anything at all. It's just I love her to death, and it makes me want to be. I want to be successful already, but I just want to make her proud.
All right, and then when you look back, what do you think your legacy will be in NASCAR?
I've never thought about that, but
that's why I asked, Jeremy.
I'm not leaving anytime soon, unless something crazy happens. But I would say, just love to be known as a great race car driver that drove hard, raced clean, did all he could with what he had, and had some success. But yeah, I'd love to have more wins under my belt. But man, when you do it on your own, it is hard. But the challenge has made me keep fighting, and I'm still here, and we're competitive, and I want to keep going, and hopefully you'll see this 51 up front this year more and more. I mean, we're 7 points at the moment. Which is 2 races in. It's early, so but I'm saying we can be a contender. So that's when it's fun for us to do that.
So you just brought it up, and that leads to my last question. When do you finally see you hanging up the career, hanging up the helmet for a final time? How old are you now, Jeremy?
Unless you give me $10 million, I mean, I don't have enough money in the bank to stop. I mean, I get to race for a living and do something I love to do, and that's how I pay my bills. So that's, unless I can't physically do it anymore, or I'm not good at it, then I'm not going to stop.
Okay. Well, Jeremy, I appreciate it. Wish you the best of luck. 500th Dakota, and maybe we can get win number 3.
Sounds good to me. Thank you for the time.